Hello guys, here is the new part of What If Naruto Had Mana. I hope you subscribe and like the video. Okay, here we go. Kakashi led Team 7 back to Konoha, the air thick with unspoken tension. Naruto walked silently at the rear, his expression unreadable, while Sasuke occasionally glanced at him, his fists clenched in silent frustration. Sakura, still processing the events of their mission, tried to keep up with Kakashi's brisk pace. Once they arrived, Kakashi dismissed the team. "Rest up. You've earned it," he said calmly. "We'll reconvene tomorrow morning." Naruto gave a polite nod before departing, his demeanor unusually subdued. Sasuke and Sakura exchanged looks before going their separate ways, leaving Kakashi alone to deliver his report to the Hokage. As Kakashi entered the Hokage's office, Hiruzen Sarutobi greeted him with a smile, though his eyes betrayed a trace of concern. "Kakashi," the third Hokage began, gesturing for him to sit. "You've returned earlier than expected. I take it the mission faced complications?" Kakashi sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. "Complications would be putting it mildly, Lord Hokage. Team 7 succeeded in completing the mission, but there are some concerns I need to address." Hiruzen listened intently as Kakashi detailed their journey, the skirmishes with Zabuza and Haku, and Naruto's increasingly evident abilities. As he described Naruto's battles, the strategic brilliance and sheer power he had displayed, Hiruzen's expression shifted to one of deep contemplation. When Kakashi finished, Hiruzen remained silent for a moment before speaking. "Naruto has exceeded expectations once again. Yet I sense there's more troubling you." Kakashi's visible eye narrowed, and his usually calm tone turned sharp. "Yes, Hokage-sama. My concern lies not with Naruto, but with his teammates." Sasuke and Sakura refused to see Naruto as their equal, let alone as a valuable team member. This mission should have been a team effort, but Naruto carried most of the burden alone. Hiruzen leaned back in his chair, his pipe resting on the desk. "Do you believe this was due to inexperience, or something deeper?" "Something deeper," Kakashi replied grimly. "Sasuke's jealousy is consuming him, and it's causing rifts within the team. He views Naruto's success as a challenge to his superiority. Sakura, on the other hand, dismisses Naruto outright. Her own lack of self-awareness only adds to the issue. Their inability to recognize his value puts not only Naruto but the entire team in jeopardy." Hiruzen sighed, a rare glimpse of his age showing through. "It's troubling to hear this, but not unexpected. Sasuke carries the weight of his clan's destruction and strives to prove himself in every situation. Sakura, for all her book smarts, lacks emotional maturity." Kakashi hesitated before continuing. "Hokage-sama, if this pattern persists, I fear the consequences. Naruto is growing rapidly. His skill with his mana-based abilities and his creative combat strategies are unmatched, even among shinobi above his rank. But if his teammates continue to treat him as an outsider, it will not only hinder his development but potentially lead to dangerous divisions within the team." Hiruzen's gaze hardened as he leaned forward, resting his elbows on the desk. "What solution do you propose, Kakashi?" Kakashi paused, carefully choosing his words. "With all due respect, Naruto needs mentorship beyond Team 7. Someone who can cultivate his unique abilities and foster his growth without the interference of his teammates' biases. I previous parts 1 already told you about how Third helps Naruto and give him some pointers, and Kakashi also helps in Naruto in basic understanding of chakra because of Danzo and villagers was threat to Naruto. So as to be protected from them so for they trained in Naruto. So Third Hokage knows about his unique angry other than chakra, so he also have this idea how to help this boy he lost in his thoughts." Hiruzen's expression softened slightly as he considered the suggestion. "Jiraiya," he murmured to himself, lost in thought. Kakashi nodded. "Yes. If anyone can guide Naruto effectively, it's him. Jiraiya has the experience and perspective to train Naruto in ways even I cannot. The third Hokage fell silent, his mind clearly weighing the idea. After a moment he gave a solemn nod. I'll consider it. For now, Kakashi, I want you to keep a close eye on Team 7. Ensure that Sasuke and Sakura confront their shortcomings, and keep fostering teamwork. I'll handle the rest. Kakashi stood and bowed. Understood, Hokage-sama. As Kakashi left the office, Hiruzen stared out the window, his mind preoccupied. Naruto has grown into a remarkable shinobi despite everything. Perhaps it's time he steps onto a path where his potential can truly flourish. He picked up his pipe and took a long draw, the smoke curling in the air as he contemplated the boy who bore the weight of a village's scorn and the legacy of a hero. Naruto walked into the street and suddenly see Konohamaru was in trouble, and he approaches near and Konohamaru asked for his help, and Naruto sees this and releases some killer intent. Kankuro dropped him. He ran away. Tamari sees Naruto and she slightly blushes. Naruto tells you can come now. In the distant direction of tree, suddenly sand materialize out of nowhere and he asks, Kankuro, you are disgrace to our village. Kankuro fears about that and he turns towards Naruto and asks for his name. Suddenly Sasuke see this from the tree branch and introduce his name. Gaara tells, I don't want your name. Sasuke hissed in anger. Naruto tells, only proper manner if you tell your name before asking others. He tells, I am Gaara of the Sand. Naruto tells his name, Naruto Uzumaki. Gaara sees something off about Naruto. He don't know what was that and they leave. Sasuke turns towards Naruto and tells, I am Uchiha Elite. He used ask my name first. Naruto didn't care about Sasuke yapping. He sunshine out of way. Team 7 meet near the bridge and Kakashi told them about Chunin exam. Next day they meet in the exam hall. Naruto sends the genjutsu and leave the site. Rock Lee notices this and he challenges Naruto. Sasuke, come forward, you should fight me first. Rock Lee accepts the challenge and stomps Sasuke. His ego increases further. After the exams they meet in the forest of death. They collect their scroll and enter into the forest. Sasuke and Sakura stood breathless in the dense undergrowth of the forest of death, sweat trickling down their brows. Before them stood 3 genin, but something was off. Their chakra presence felt far too menacing. These weren't ordinary genin. They exuded a suffocating aura that unsettled even Sasuke. One of the sound ninjas smirked, revealing unnaturally sharp teeth. The leader stepped forward, his movements eerily smooth. In an instant, his hands weaved signs, summoning an enormous snake that launched itself at Sasuke and Sakura. Sakura screamed and stumbled backward while Sasuke's Sharingan activated instinctively. He jumped into a defensive position, but his legs felt heavy under the oppressive pressure of their foe. Just as the snake closed in, its fangs glistening ominously, the air shifted. A sudden gust cut through the tension, and the snake's head was severed cleanly in a flash of wind. Emerging from the swirling leaves stood Naruto, his expression cold and focused. In his hand, a blade shimmered faintly, radiating an aura that seemed almost alive. Its energy felt raw, uncontained, and completely unnatural. Sasuke and Sakura both froze, not out of fear of Naruto, but because they were still caught in the oppressive grip of killer intent exuding from the disguised Orochimaru. Orochimaru shifted his gaze toward Naruto, narrowing his golden, snake-like eyes. So, the dead last has arrived, he murmured mockingly, though his tone belied a subtle unease. Naruto stepped forward, slashing the air with his wind-imbued dagger. Sasuke, Sakura, stay back. His voice carried none of its usual carefree tone. He was commanding, almost chilling, and for a brief moment, Sasuke thought he detected something otherworldly in his voice. Orochimaru chuckled but faltered momentarily. The heat radiating from Naruto's body wasn't chakra. It was something entirely different, something he couldn't comprehend. What is this boy? Orochimaru muttered under his breath, as beads of sweat formed on his brow. Naruto didn't wait for an invitation. With a flick of his blade, he lunged forward, aiming directly at Orochimaru's center. Orochimaru's eyes widened in genuine shock as he barely dodged the strike. Even in his human host, his reflexes were far superior to an ordinary ninja's, yet this boy, this dead last, had forced him to move. Recovering, Orochimaru countered, the legendary Kusanagi blade materializing from his throat. He attacked with calculated ferocity, but Naruto disappeared into thin air, leaving only an afterimage. Body flicker, Orochimaru whispered, his breath hitching. But this is far beyond normal. His mind raced as he watched Naruto materialize a few feet away, his expression calm and unwavering. Orochimaru's lips curled into an unsettling grin. Kabuto didn't tell me about this. No chakra signature, no emotional tells. What are you? Naruto didn't reply. Instead, he raised his dagger and advanced again. Their weapons clashed, Orochimaru's Kusanagi against Naruto's ethereal dagger. Sparks flew as the two exchanged a series of rapid blows, the intensity increasing with each strike. Orochimaru's smirk faltered as he realized Naruto was not merely holding his own, he was dominating. Each swing of Naruto's blade disrupted Orochimaru's chakra flow, negating any ninjutsu he tried to weave. Orochimaru's amusement gave way to frustration. He launched himself into a series of taijutsu attacks, spinning and striking with lethal precision. Naruto dodged each one effortlessly, his movements precise and economical. Orochimaru's attacks became a blur, yet Naruto countered with an agility that defied explanation. Enough, Orochimaru hissed. His grin widened unnaturally as he summoned massive snakes to encircle Naruto. You can't stop me with raw power alone, boy. But Naruto's response was unexpected. He created 5 shadow clones without a single hand sign. Each clone disappeared in different directions, moving so fast they seemed like phantoms. One clone reached Sasuke and Sakura, who were paralyzed by Orochimaru's killer intent. A soft hand on Sakura's shoulder broke her trance. She gasped, her eyes darting to the clone. Naruto? She whispered. It's me, the clone said. Get out of here. Now. Sasuke glared at the clone, but the trembling in his knees betrayed his fear. He shifted his gaze back toward the real Naruto, who was clashing with Orochimaru. Anger brewed within him. How could Naruto, of all people, stand against such overwhelming power? As Sakura hesitated, Naruto's real self barked over his shoulder, "Leave now." The sheer authority in his voice jolted her into action. She grabbed Sasuke's wrist and pulled him along. Sasuke, however, couldn't tear his eyes away from Naruto. "This can't be real," Sasuke whispered. "If this guy can make me feel fear, what can Naruto do against him?" Back in the battle, Orochimaru's frustration peaked. He released his full strength, pouring everything into a relentless assault. Naruto remained calm, countering each blow with calculated ease. His clones began unleashing powerful elemental attacks, each infused with an energy far beyond chakra. Wind, fire, earth, water, and lightning tore through the battlefield, reshaping the terrain. Orochimaru's usually calm facade began to crack. He could no longer mask his growing fear. Each of Naruto's attacks disrupted his composure and eroded his confidence. He finally shed his disguise, revealing his true skin, pale and unsettling. For a brief moment, the battlefield fell silent. Orochimaru's golden eyes fixed on Naruto. The legendary Sanin's laughter broke the tension, but it was hollow, forced. "You're full of surprises, Uzumaki," he said, his tone low and venomous. "But don't think you've won. The real battle has only just begun." Naruto raised his dagger, his expression unchanged. "Come and try, Snake Man." As the fierce battle raged on, Naruto stood unyielding, his aura pulsating with an unmatched intensity. Orochimaru's golden eyes narrowed, his expression a volatile mix of anger and intrigue. Suddenly, Naruto paused, his system glowing faintly before a notification appeared in his vision. System notification: Elemental daggers unlocked. 5 daggers received: wind, fire, water, earth, lightning. Temporary power boost granted, speed and agility doubled for 10 minutes. A surge of energy coursed through Naruto's body, and the air around him grew heavier with his overwhelming presence. Each of his 5 shadow clones materialized a unique dagger, shimmering with elemental energy. The real Naruto gripped the fire dagger, its blade emanating an intense crimson glow that seemed to ignite the atmosphere itself. "What is this power?" Orochimaru hissed, his voice tinged with unease as he watched the elemental daggers glow in the clone's hands. Without wasting time, the clones lunged forward in unison, their speed now unmatched. The wind dagger clone moved like a blur, its strikes carving deep gashes into the ground and slicing through the surrounding trees with razor-sharp precision. The earth dagger clone struck with unrelenting force, causing tremors that destabilized Orochimaru's footing. The water dagger clone launched cascading waves that disrupted his chakra flow, while the lightning dagger clone paralyzed him briefly with each contact. Orochimaru hissed in frustration. He dodged and countered as best as he could, weaving powerful jutsus to fend off the clones. However, the daggers seemed to negate his chakra with every strike. "What kind of weaponry is this?" he muttered, struggling to keep his composure. The fire dagger, wielded by the original Naruto, burned with an intensity that even Orochimaru's regenerative powers found difficult to counter. With each swing, the air shimmered with heat, and Orochimaru could feel his host body starting to weaken under the relentless attacks. Naruto's movements became even faster, his blade a streak of fire as he charged. Orochimaru's eyes widened as Naruto appeared inches from his face in an instant. "You're not getting away," Naruto said coldly, his voice devoid of its usual light-hearted tone. Orochimaru growled, releasing another massive snake from his sleeves in a desperate attempt to create distance. However, the fire dagger sliced through the serpent effortlessly, reducing it to ashes before it could even fully materialize. The flames licked at Orochimaru's cloak, forcing him to retreat further. Realizing the futility of prolonging the fight, Orochimaru activated his reanimation jutsu, the unsettling technique that allowed him to shed his damaged body. From within his charred shell, his pale, grotesque form emerged, but Naruto didn't let up. The fire dagger burned brighter, as if resonating with Naruto's resolve. "This boy," Orochimaru muttered, his voice low. "He's too dangerous. If I stay any longer, the other participants and Konoha's shinobi might sense my presence." Naruto, sensing the slight hesitation in Orochimaru's movements, pressed his advantage. With one decisive move, he imbued the fire dagger with every ounce of his power. The flames erupted into a roaring inferno that surrounded Orochimaru entirely, leaving him with no room to escape. "You underestimated me," Naruto said as he leapt into the air, bringing the fire dagger down in a blinding arc. The blade struck Orochimaru directly, the intense flames consuming him instantly. A guttural scream echoed through the forest as Orochimaru's form began to dissolve into ash. The flames incinerated his host body completely, leaving behind only a charred mark on the earth. For a moment, silence hung heavy in the air. Naruto landed gracefully, the fire dagger dissipating from his hand. He exhaled slowly, his eyes still scanning the area. Despite incinerating Orochimaru's physical form, Naruto's instincts warned him that this wasn't over. "He's not dead," Naruto murmured under his breath, his sharp eyes narrowing. "That snake slithers out of everything." Even though Orochimaru was gone from the battlefield, Naruto could feel the lingering malice in the air, a sign that the Sannin's presence hadn't been fully eradicated. He tightened his fists, determination etched into his features. "I'll be ready next time," he thought, his resolve solidifying. As the remaining clones dispersed, Naruto turned and walked back toward the path where Sasuke and Sakura had fled, his mind already racing with thoughts of what Orochimaru's next move might be. Suddenly in hidden base near Sound Country, Orochimaru woke up from the tube he create for emergency backup, which helps him. He fears about thinking the battle between him and Naruto. He thinks his plan might be spoil if he didn't come up with good precautions and plan. As Team 7 made their way through the dense, eerie forest toward the tower, the tension in the air began to ease. With their scrolls secured, thanks to a swift and decisive encounter with a Rain Village team, the group finally reached their destination. The imposing structure loomed before them, a symbol of the second trial's completion. Naruto led the way, his posture relaxed as though the events of the past few hours hadn't fazed him. Sasuke followed closely, frustration etched across his face, while Sakura struggled to maintain her composure, glancing between the two boys. Upon entering the tower, they immediately noticed the Sand siblings, Gaara, Temari, and Kankuro, resting in one corner. Gaara's eyes locked onto Naruto with a strange mix of curiosity and malice. The air around him carried an ominous weight that seemed to seep into the room. Sakura tensed, and even Sasuke's brow furrowed as he felt the oppressive energy. But Naruto? He barely acknowledged it. With a glance at Gaara, Naruto's expression remained neutral, his focus instead shifting to the scrolls in his hand. This lack of reaction didn't go unnoticed. Gaara's turquoise eyes narrowed. "Interesting," he muttered under his breath, his gaze lingering on Naruto for a moment longer before shifting away. Sasuke, however, couldn't contain his frustration any longer. He stepped closer to Naruto, his voice low but insistent. "Naruto, I need answers," he began, the jealousy and anger in his tone unmistakable. "What were you using against that snake? How can you fight at a level like that?" Naruto didn't even glance at him, calmly tying the scrolls to his belt. His voice was steady, almost dismissive. "Because I'm special," he said simply. "I don't rely on just chakra. There's more to me than you'll ever understand." The words stung, and Sasuke's hands clenched into fists. Sakura opened her mouth as if to intervene but thought better of it, sensing that this conversation was better left uninterrupted. Before Sasuke could respond, an announcement echoed through the hall, calling all participants to gather for the next phase of the exam. The three teammates exchanged glances before heading toward the central hall. The preliminary rounds begin. The preliminary rounds were explained swiftly by Hayate Gecko, and the tension in the room began to build. One by one, the participants were called down for their battles, and each fight played out as expected, following the course of canon events. Naruto beat Kiba so easily with one hit. However, things took a dramatic turn during Hinata's fight against Neji. The room grew tense as Neji overpowered her, his relentless strikes leaving her struggling to stand. Despite her injuries, she refused to give up, her spirit unyielding. Naruto, standing among the spectators, watched with increasing anger. His fists tightened at his sides, his aura beginning to radiate a subtle but palpable intensity. When Neji made one final, devastating move, Hinata collapsed. The Jonin observers moved to intervene, but before anyone could act, Naruto had already vanished. In the blink of an eye, he appeared on the battlefield, crouching protectively in front of Hinata. His body flicker was so swift that even seasoned shinobi like Kakashi, Guy, and Asuma could only stand in stunned silence. The third Hokage's eyes widened slightly, a thoughtful expression crossing his face as he observed Naruto's precision and speed. This boy, he moves just like Minato, Hiruzen thought, recalling the fourth Hokage's legendary prowess. Naruto turned his gaze to Neji, his eyes sharp and unyielding. "That's enough," he said, his voice carrying an authority that sent chills through everyone present. "She's done fighting." Neji hesitated for a moment, the weight of Naruto's presence pressing on him, before the proctors officially declared the match over. Naruto gently lifted Hinata and carried her to the medical team, who quickly took her for treatment. The remaining fights continued, each team displaying their strength and strategies. But the room's atmosphere had shifted. Everyone, from the participants to their team leaders, couldn't shake the image of Naruto's speed and resolve. When the preliminary rounds finally concluded, the Hokage addressed the gathered genin, congratulating those who had advanced to the final exam. Naruto stood with his arms crossed, his expression calm as though the events of the day hadn't affected him. In the back of the room, Kakashi, Asuma, and Guy exchanged glances. "That speed," Guy said, his voice uncharacteristically serious. "Naruto's no ordinary genin." Kakashi nodded, his visible eye narrowing slightly. "He's become stronger in ways I didn't anticipate. He's not just chakra-based anymore." Asuma added, "He's surpassing expectations. If we didn't know better, we might mistake him for someone far more experienced." The third Hokage's gaze lingered on Naruto, a small, approving smile tugging at his lips. "Naruto Uzumaki, you truly carry the will of fire, just like your father." As Team 7 regrouped and prepared to leave the tower, Sasuke walked silently behind Naruto, his thoughts consumed by what he had witnessed. Envy burned within him, but beneath that was a growing desperation. How can he be so far ahead? Sasuke thought, clenching his fists. "I'll surpass him. I have to." As they exited the tower, the stage was set for the final exam, but for Team 7, the events of the preliminary round had shifted the dynamics among them. Same thing happened like Canon Kakashi trained Sasuke. This time Naruto knows about Kakashi lighting blade technique. He has to restriction like Kakashi to rely on chakra reserves. He has specific element of lighting at his will, so he works on each and every element of his arsenal after defeating Orochimaru. His system stas inkis and his mana HP also increase. Naruto thinks if he fight more powerful people he also grows in strength, and adopting the situation he also spends in HP score, in agility, IQ, strength, and he buys some mana portion to heal himself from dangerous injuries. He also heal other people with that portions. After 5 days of training himself in the forest, Naruto was going to meet third Hokage to speak about his heritage. Kurama told everything about his parents. In his office he meet Jiraiya. Naruto is not dumb in this. What if he knows about Jiraiya? Legendary Sanin's third Hokage introduces Jiraiya, and he also knows about Jiraiya was his godfather. Naruto asks Hiruzen, "Old man, when will you give me my heritage?" Hiruzen stumbled in his chair. He thinks, how he knows about this. Jiraiya was shocked, and Hiruzen say, "Forgive me, Naruto." He told about his father and mother, and he also know about Naruto potential and mana abilities, and Jiraiya asks Naruto his forgiveness for not in his life. Naruto and Jiraiya went into forest training ground, and Naruto tell everything to Jiraiya about his mana abilities and other abilities, and Jiraiya was baffled and shocked after Naruto tell about his powers. He not believe both of them train in taijutsu. He also asked about his chakra control. Naruto said, "I am not using my chakra to use any jutsu. I am only using my mana energy." Naruto display his control. He walks in water and floats above the ground. Jiraiya stunned in the place after Naruto flight ability. He said, "Naruto, you can fly." "Yes, sensei, I can with help of the energy I possess." He asked about Nine Tails. Naruto tells he and I are on good terms. Jiraiya asked third Hokage knows about this. He said no, but he said we were on good terms in sense. After that they inform about Nine Tails. Naruto tells about one thing logically, the Nine Tails cannot control me because I cannot able to use chakra. I only have mana which I can able to replicate any chakra based ability with spell or deep focus. Both of them take that and I said I make sense. Jiraiya loosen up the seal and he teaches him Rasengan and some sealing art of basics that he train with him for 10 days. Naruto replicate the Rasengan with his style, he call it Energy Blast and Wave. He trained rest of the time with the system quest. He went into multiple dimension to fight against monsters and final level boss. To simply put into words, Naruto is low Sannin and mid Kage level in fighting style but he still have to master more of his abilities which he not used in any of his battle. The crowd gathered in the arena with excitement buzzing in the air. Bets were whispered among the audience, the odds heavily favoring Neji Hyuga, the prodigy of the Hyuga clan. Conversations flowed freely about Neji's strength, his Byakugan, and his unbeatable gentle fist technique. There's no way Naruto stands a chance, one villager scoffed. Neji will crush him before it even starts. As the fight was called, Neji stepped into the arena, his gaze cold and calculated. The audience erupted into cheers for their anticipated victor. But when Naruto walked into the ring, the entire stadium fell silent. Naruto's transformation was nothing short of astonishing. He had grown slightly taller and noticeably more muscular, his lean physique exuding strength. His wild hair and confident smirk sent a jolt through the crowd, who could hardly believe this was the same Naruto they had dismissed so easily before. His attire was sleeker, complementing his aura of newfound power and focus. Neji smirked dismissively. Appearance means nothing in a fight. Your fate is sealed, Naruto. Naruto simply tilted his head, unfazed by the prodigy's condescension. Fate? Let's see how far your destiny gets you. The match began. Neji launched himself at Naruto with blinding speed, aiming for his chakra points. The precision of the gentle fist met an unexpected obstacle as Naruto effortlessly sidestepped and weaved around each strike. Not a single hit landed. Gasps filled the stadium. What's going on? Someone shouted. I thought Neji's attacks were unavoidable. The tension escalated as Neji activated his 8 trigrams 64 palms. The series of rapid strikes was a sight to behold. But to the astonishment of everyone watching, Naruto dodged each blow with fluid agility, his movements calculated and controlled. This isn't possible. Neji yelled, frustration creeping into his voice. No one can escape this technique. Naruto finally closed the gap with a single step, landing a devastating uppercut that sent Neji flying backward. Before Neji could recover, Naruto appeared behind him and delivered a spinning kick to his chest, slamming him into the ground. Your destiny was to lose, Neji, Naruto said calmly, standing over his defeated opponent. The audience erupted in stunned silence. No one could believe their eyes. Even the Jonin, including Kakashi and Guy, watched with wide eyes, trying to comprehend what had just happened. The rest of this fight will unfold just like it does in canon, someone muttered faintly from the stands, too bewildered to continue watching without recounting this stunning shift. Naruto's victory over Neji wasn't just a win, it was a turning point. The dead last they had underestimated stood now as an undeniable force to be reckoned with, reshaping their view of destiny, strength, and Naruto Uzumaki. After the initial excitement of Naruto's resounding victory against Neji, the Chunin exams progressed in a flurry of intense matches, all leading up to the finals. As the battles unfolded, Naruto's impressive show remained a talking point for villagers and shinobi alike. Sasuke's fight against Gaara remained fierce, a battle of determination and contrasting styles, until Gaara was injured and the planned Konoha crush commenced. Explosions echoed across the village, and panic erupted as the assault on Konoha began. Orochimaru initiated his vile plans, releasing chaos as summoned snakes rampaged and shinobi engaged in desperate battles to protect the village. Amidst the chaos, Naruto quickly formed dozens of shadow clones infused with his mana-enhanced abilities. Each clone moved with precision, defeating foes, aiding villagers, and countering attacks in ways far more efficient than ordinary chakra-based clones. The villagers, stunned, observed the coordinated defenses orchestrated by Naruto's clones. One shinobi muttered, "He's not just a genin anymore. This is incredible." While Naruto safeguarded the village, Sasuke gave chase into the forest where Gaara, weakened but more dangerous in his Jinchuriki form, awaited. Despite having unlocked the 3-Tomo Sharingan and mastering his Chidori technique, Sasuke found himself overwhelmed by the monstrous power of Shikaku, the One-Tail. His attempts to fight were in vain, and desperation mounted as he realized the limits of his strength. Just as Sasuke seemed on the verge of collapse, Naruto appeared, leaping into the fray. His arrival was heralded by a surge of energy so overwhelming that it caused even Shikaku to pause. Naruto assessed the situation, his eyes flashing with determination. "Sasuke, get back," Naruto ordered sharply, his voice brimming with authority. "I'll handle this." The tone of confidence grated on Sasuke, jealousy sparking in his mind. How is he doing this? He's just... Naruto. Shikaku roared, attempting to swipe Naruto with one massive claw. In a blur of motion, Naruto leapt onto the beast's arm, dodging effortlessly. Channeling his mana, Naruto created massive wind-enhanced projectiles and struck Shikaku's body with devastating precision. His strikes weren't just powerful, they completely disrupted Shikaku's chakra network, destabilizing the beast's form. From afar, Konoha's Chunin and Jonin, including Kakashi, Guy, and Asuma, gathered to witness the extraordinary battle. Hiruzen Sarutobi himself observed through his crystal ball, his eyes narrowing with curiosity and awe. "Is this Naruto?" Guy whispered. "He moves with such control and power, it's almost like his father," Kakashi completed. "But this is more than chakra. He's using something completely different?" The villagers watched as Naruto's final blow landed, a direct, mana-enhanced punch to Shikaku's face. The force of the attack shattered the beast's connection to Gaara, dispelling its form and rendering Gaara unconscious in one decisive strike. Everyone observing fell into silence. Sasuke, kneeling on the ground, stared in shock. He gritted his teeth, frustration boiling as he muttered under his breath, How is he so much stronger than me?" Naruto turned, helping Gaara onto his feet before placing him on the ground gently. His expression was calm, yet radiated a sense of authority. As Gaara opened his eyes, Naruto simply said, "You don't have to be controlled by it. Find your strength without fear." The battle had ended, but the mark it left on everyone who witnessed it would resonate for years. The villagers murmured among themselves, stunned at what Naruto Uzumaki had accomplished. For once, the whispers about him weren't filled with scorn but with wonder and respect. Sasuke watched, his jaw clenched in a mixture of disbelief and jealousy. The village's whispers echoed around him, amplifying his inner turmoil. Naruto had done it. He hadn't just defeated Shikaku, he had showcased a level of power and mastery that Sasuke could scarcely comprehend. A power that wasn't just chakra-based, there was something far greater at play. How is he this strong?" Sasuke muttered under his breath, his fists trembling. "That power, it should be mine. He doesn't deserve it." As Naruto floated down, using bursts of wind-enhanced mana to gracefully descend, the villagers erupted in awe and chatter. Hiruzen Sarutobi, standing alongside his elite Jonin, regarded the scene with an expression torn between pride and concern. "His growth is astounding," Hiruzen murmured, stroking his beard. "But this kind of power, it draws attention." Unbeknownst to them, Tsutomu, hidden nearby, smirked as he watched the unfolding scene. Naruto Uzumaki. Such potential. Such ferocity. I must know the limits of his power. With a malicious grin, he made the hand seals. Summoning. Reanimation jutsu. Orochimaru growled, and the ground split open with a low rumble. From the dirt, 2 coffins rose, their lids engraved with kanji bearing the names of the first and second Hokage. With a loud thud, the coffins opened, revealing Hashirama and Tobirama Senju in their reanimated forms, eyes glowing a dull, lifeless blue. Gasps filled the air as shinobi and villagers alike turned their attention to Orochimaru's grotesque display. Hiruzen's face tightened with anger and sorrow. Orochimaru, you've gone too far. Naruto, still near the forest, sensed the sudden spike in dark energy and turned his head sharply. His mana attunement let him feel the vile nature of the reanimation technique. Without hesitation, he leapt, bursting through the air at high speed until he landed squarely in front of the Kage's barrier, now blocking Hiruzen and Orochimaru. "This isn't your fight, Naruto," Hiruzen shouted, but Naruto shook his head. "I'm not letting him desecrate this village further. I'll handle it." Naruto raised one hand, gripping his magical dagger tightly. A faint blue glow enveloped the blade, and with a single, precise slash, the barrier cracked like glass before shattering entirely. Orochimaru's eyes widened in surprise. "How?" Orochimaru hissed, his voice filled with disbelief. "That blade. What kind of power does he wield?" Naruto stepped inside the battlefield as the reanimated Hokages moved in sync to attack. Hashirama created a web of wood tendrils, while Tobirama unleashed a torrent of water spears. Naruto moved at a speed almost imperceptible, weaving through the attacks with agility. He parried a water spear with his dagger before unleashing a wind-enhanced strike that sliced through the wood tendrils like paper. "You can stop now," Naruto said, his voice calm but firm. "You don't have to fight for him anymore." For a moment, Hashirama hesitated, his face twitching as if battling Orochimaru's control. Taking the opportunity, Naruto formed 3 shadow clones, each imbued with a different elemental energy. The clones engaged the Hokages, overwhelming them with precise, devastating attacks. Despite their legendary prowess, Hashirama and Tobirama were no match for Naruto's strategy. The chakra-based reanimation jutsu faltered against Naruto's mana-infused abilities, which negated their moves with uncanny precision. In minutes, the first and second Hokages were brought to their knees. "It's over," Naruto declared, slashing his dagger imbued with fire energy through the chakra tags that controlled the Hokages. Their bodies disintegrated, leaving only ash. Orochimaru's grin faltered, then twisted into a snarl. "Impressive, but you're just a boy playing with power." Orochimaru lunged forward with his Kusanagi blade, attempting to pierce Naruto, but Naruto dodged effortlessly. Twisting midair, Naruto countered with a shadow-enhanced strike that sent Orochimaru flying. The snake Sannin regenerated quickly, but Naruto closed the distance in a flash, delivering another series of powerful blows. "I'll kill you as many times as it takes," Naruto said coldly. Twice more, Naruto delivered killing blows to Orochimaru, only for him to slip free of his mortal coil, emerging from his previous body. By the third time, Orochimaru was visibly struggling, his regeneration slowing. "No, you're a monster," Orochimaru spat, panting heavily. "Ironic coming from you," Naruto retorted. With a final burst of mana energy, he summoned multiple clones, each wielding elemental variations of his dagger. Together, they unleashed an enormous multi-elemental attack, trapping Orochimaru in a vortex of fire, wind, and lightning. As the vortex dissipated, Orochimaru's limp form fell to the ground, battered and nearly unrecognizable. Still, he chuckled weakly. "You may have won today, Naruto Uzumaki. But I'll be back. You can't stop what's coming." Naruto leveled him with an unflinching gaze. "Run now. The next time I see you, there won't be enough of you left to slither away." Defeated, Orochimaru used his escape technique, regurgitating himself from his own mouth to flee. Naruto sighed, watching the snake Sannin vanish. As silence returned, Hiruzen approached, resting a hand on Naruto's shoulder. "You've done well, Naruto. You've saved us all." The villagers and shinobi who witnessed the battle looked on in awe. Whispers of admiration replaced their usual disdain. "Did you see him? He defeated Orochimaru. By himself." Sasuke, standing in the shadows, clenched his fists tightly. His Sharingan spun, reflecting his growing jealousy and frustration. "Oh, I refuse to be left behind like this. I need power, whatever it takes." And with that, the chapter closed. In next part 1 will cover the arc shortly, and after we can cover Shippuden time skip anyways. I hope you like this part. See you in next video guys. Peace.